Hi, I'm Ken Brown, CEO of Destiny Global, and welcome to this edition of Success Tips. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 principles to give your kids a great life. And I am excited to be able to talk to you about this today. And what is Success Tips? Success Tips is a bi-weekly training that we do here at Destiny Global in between events with the master trainers of the company, Jackie, Carmen, Dr. Brown, and myself. And really to keep you going forward between events, to keep propelling you and give you nuggets that you can hold on to propel you forward in your life. And of course, recently we've been talking about some marriage things. We've been talking about your children, how to get things going. And today is something I really want to share with you. And these 5 principles are going to help you. They have helped April and I in raising our kids, who are all over 18, all adults now, if you can believe that. We're soon to be empty nesters as Chloe goes off to school soon. And we're excited about that, but also excited that we get to share with you some of the lessons that we have learned. And of course, Jackie and Carmen, wonderful, amazing parents. And these skills, these principles that we're going to teach you will absolutely help you in parenting your kids, because we're not just raising kids, we want to raise great adults. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. So without further ado, let's jump in. So the first thing, point number 1, mindset. Now, mindset is a big thing. So there's 2 specific things I want to talk about in parenting your kids. The first one is a mindset of persistence. Right? So many times, especially today, there's so many distractions that can take them away from, wanting to accomplish a certain specific thing, or they get amused with something else because there's so many things grabbing their attention, taking them away. Too much computer time, too much TV time, whatever it is, versus actually gaining a true skill. So the first thing is teach them a mindset of persistence. So if they're going to play the piano, give them the environment to do that. Set up the structure to do that. And we're going to get into some more of these points in just a minute to even go further into this. But a mindset of persistence really enables them to see over and over again. And this is closely tied to the second part of mindset. Remember, I told you there was 2. The first one is persistence. The second one is forgiveness. And really the whole concept of forgiveness. Now, how does that tie into persistence? Well, think about a child. So they're doing something and they don't feel like they're good at it. So mom and dad, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. Teach them about real forgiveness and looking at something and saying, you know what, I can do this. It's not knowing that you're going to be perfect every time you're doing something. And so kids will come and apologize to you. I cannot tell you how many times our children say, Mom, Dad, I'm not good at this. You know what, it's okay. Give it your best, but we're going to keep trying it. And if I think about Chloe started really teaching herself piano when she was 5 or 6 years old on a Casio with the light-up keypads. Now she is going to college on more or less a full scholarship, with music, by the way, playing the piano. She did that because of persistence, but she also had to weave in looking at things, and there's degrees of forgiveness. And I'm not talking about the deep forgiveness that we're going into every time that we get into problems. It's the little things. It's like, hey, give yourself some grace as you're learning to do something new. You're not going to be perfect. And there's so many things that our kids can try to do, and they're going to be comparing to the best. So the first time your child plays, they're not going to be Beethoven. Just let them enjoy the journey. So persistence with doses of grace. I'm using the word forgiveness because there's sometimes it goes deeper, where kids do something and they're working in the kitchen. And I'm going to speak, give one of the flaws of myself sometimes is we're working in the kitchens and the kids would knock something off on the floor and break it. Oh my goodness. And that's like the end of the world. Oh my gosh. No, it's not a big deal. They're in there trying. They're learning how to do something. Give grace. Give much forgiveness in those realms to encourage that persistent attitude. You cannot have persistence without giving yourself some real grace boundaries in it, because you're not going to be perfect the first time. And that is so true with our children. So give them that mindset to let them take chances on something, right? I call it responsible risk. Give them in there, give them guidance, but let them start doing it. And this quickly gets into point number 2. So point number 1, mindset, persistence combined with grace and forgiveness. Point number 2 is foster independence and personal responsibility. So let your kid take a chance doing something. Let them venture into it. Set protective boundaries around it, right? Let them try that science experiment. Again, set the protective boundaries around it, but let them try new things. Experience new things. Learning new things is only done through trial. How many times as they learn to walk, did they fall down? And instead of making big deals about them, just help them back up, right? Just over and over and over again, because repetition is the mother of success. So let them try new things and encourage them to try it. And by the way, when they do something well, give them the attention that they need. Personal responsibility comes in this, right? And that means that you're owning what you did. Right or wrong, you own it. So this also goes into, really, in a home, is having a productive home, meaning that your children have responsibilities for cleaning their room. This ties into personal responsibility and independence. Hey, Johnny, hey, Jimmy, hey, Caroline, go clean your room. Show them how it's done. Give them an idea of how to do it. Again, give some grace, but have them do this, have as a weekly chore, and watch what they do, and give them rewards as well as consequence if it's not done. Why is that the way? Well, that's the way the creator of the universe and the greatest book ever written, if you read it over and over and over again, you're going to see constant rewards and consequences where things are done. And the consequences have to match what's going on. It can't be that every time that they don't clean the room perfectly, that they lose every privilege known to man. But if they do something well, make sure that you're rewarding it. Pay attention. In fact, I do double the amount of rewards than I would the consequences to make sure that you're rewarding the behavior you want and avoiding the negatives on the backside of it. And losing a privilege is typically how it's done in our house, right? So if they clean their room well, they're going to get rewarded. If they do something, they're going to miss something. Hey, you've got to go back and do that again. So if you spent 15 minutes, next time you're going to take 30 minutes and you're going to get that taken out of your day to go clean it. So it's just making sure that you're giving them the opportunity to go learn to do something, given responsibility to do it, and then help them, encourage them to do it through rewards and consequences. Point number 3, and this is so important, and for one of our child especially, is create a structure, an environment of structure for them to operate in. What does your day typically look like? Making sure that they know that they have an idea. And based on the personality of your child, especially if they're detailed, if they're facts and figures, which we call an emerald, you have to be laying things out for them because they're going to want to know. They're going to know what that looks like. And for your fun children, for your children that just really fun, we call them sapphires, is to make sure that they know, hey, you need to get these things done before we can have fun doing this. So just laying things out for them, for ones that just have a competitive attitude, making sure that they're getting stuff done, and hey, you can win at this, go get that room cleaned or get your schoolwork done, whatever it is, and show them what winning really means, right? Which is finishing tasks, completing something. That's where you win. Winners don't win if they don't finish something. It's just that simple. But it's creating an environment for your kid, is your child, is not only important at home, but also at school. And know what it looks like. If your children are in private school, public school, or you're homeschooling, is to know that environment. Yes, parents, this is your responsibility. Know what that environment looks like and what structure your children thrive in. Our children ended up being homeschooled. We were placing round pegs in square holes. And their structure and where they actually thrived, and again, all of them got college scholarships. So I'm telling you from firsthand, and that's 4 kids and 4 scholarships, homeschooled. So can it be done? Absolutely. Can it be done well? Absolutely. How you got to do it, though, is create structure and know what your child needs to succeed in, and make sure that that structure matches how your child learns. And sometimes it's not where they're at. And sometimes that requires you to get involved into it. And that means, as a parent, we're supposed to be responsible. We own it. We're not outsourcing, the raising of our children to anybody. We're owning that and owning that responsibility. But helping our children know what the structure is that they're going to succeed in is so important. And that means that you're involved in knowing what that looks like. But as you create structure around your kids, whether it's a play day, hey, we're going to go play from this time to this time. And really, when you talk about it, in our Time Secrets teaching, Carmen does a fabulous job of outlining these things. And if you look at these things, she actually does them. And you can see her living her life with her kids on Facebook as she does it. She shares with everybody. You can go there and see it. You can see it's amazing just the activities that they do. And just like April does with our kids, right? I am not the activity planner at our home, but I follow those things. And April does an amazing job of getting structure set. And when we do this, it creates bonds and it creates experiences and it makes the children feel a part of it. Did you hear what I just said? It makes them feel a part of it. It's not something happening to them. It's something they're participating in willingly and actively. Okay? Point number 4, introduce them to new things continually. Now, as adults, we call this continual learning. As kids, we call it introducing to new things. So explore new things. As you're traveling, go to museums, go to different things, let them try different foods. Continue to expand the boundaries to continue to help them learn and experience things that they don't know yet. Because the more a person knows and experiences, the better they're going to become, right? They're going to know what they like and they're going to know what they don't like. They're going to know really how other people may perceive things, different cultures serve things, how different foods are prepared, how different cultures live, the difference between math and science, and the difference between, because you're giving them different experiences, different learning methods and tools and things that you're doing to get them to be encouraged. And it's not all about video games and TVs, right? You can actually we had a math game that the kids played on the computer, and it required them to do, math problems in a certain set, and then it would let them play the game as they earned those. There are all kinds of things that you can look at, but it's giving them different experiences to continue to grow. Just like as adults, we have to continue growing and learning and encourage them to communicate with other people respectfully. And the new things as they're learning them, sometimes you can draw really hard lines, and depending on their personality, they can go, oh, I hate this. I would never do that. We use these words very carefully. Well, I haven't acquired a taste for that particular thing. April used to do this with one of our children who was a picky eater, and she would fix meals and it would really frustrate her. And so we worked on a script. Yes, script, because we had those here at Destiny Global. Scripts are a very good thing. And so when one of our children didn't like something, they'd go, Mommy, I really appreciate this, but I haven't acquired a taste for that yet. And instead of, I don't like it, because what mom or dad wants to be a short order cook for their kid because they're not eating what everyone else is eating. So again, it's setting down and giving them a process of continual learning and experiencing things, and also how to communicate when they like or dislike something in a respectful manner. And we can get lost in that. When you do it and you go to a restaurant and the kids don't like it and they're talking up, it can embarrass some people around you. And yes, we've done this before. I'm giving you first-hand experience. This food is terrible. And actually the food was great, but they had not been exposed to it before, right? And so when you go to a Chinese food restaurant and you get strange-looking mushrooms, the kids can think, oh, we're eating worms or we're eating something. No. I promise you I'm not feeding you worms. But if that's what we had to eat, that's what you would eat, by the way. But the truth is that it giving them experiences to try something new and different and create a fun way to do that. And so April would create different places that we'd go eat, and we would try picnics or different things. And we'd say, hey, we're going to have this food from here. I'm trying to remember the place. Oh, so when we went to Disney, we went to the different places around Epcot, and we tried all the different foods. And it creates experiences for your kids to, oh, this is what's in this part of the world, or this is what's in this part of the world. And those of you that homeschool, actually being able to go to the places that are in the books, which my bride did amazing at, but you can literally, and if you can't travel there, it's okay to, do a play about the place that you're going to. And Ken, why are you telling me this? Because it's so important that you create experiences for your kids as they're learning something. There's nothing better than doing that. So talking about when Abraham Lincoln was giving his speech, which almost every curriculum in the United States has your kids memorizing some of these speeches. Well, let them know, hey, this is where Abraham Lincoln is from. So there's places you can actually look up online and take them and show them where the house that he lived in. We've been to it. And I think it's Springfield, Illinois. but you can go to it and you can see all the things in it. But it's just creating an experience for your kids to learn in a fun and unique way. So I continue to press into that because as you're introducing them to new things, it's also new ways to learn. Because every person does not just sit down and learn by looking at a book. So we need to be really astute to how our children learn and give them the best environment to succeed. You want your kids to be great adults? This is how you do it. Help them prepared by getting experiences, both negative and positive, so they can really experience what life is going to bring them. Not every time they're going to win at a game, and it's teaching them how to be good losers in a way, right? Be respectful. And it's so important that we learn to do that because it teaches us, again, the respect and honor for the person who did well or did better than us. And by the way, that gives us a goal to continue to work forward to be the winner or champ ourselves. And the last thing, point number 5, is so important. In fact, it is the most important point is be the example. Be the person with a persistent and forgiving mindset. Make sure that you're fostering independence and responsibility, personal responsibility for yourself. Make sure that you have a structure for success in your own life. Make sure that you're continually learning, right? And be the example. Be the loving, wonderful mom and dad that you were created to be. Some of you are going to come from backgrounds that were far from that. Your past does not dictate anything to your future unless you choose to live there. You can choose to change that and change your children's world entirely from how you may have been raised. And some of you may have been raised perfectly in an incredible environment, but there's things that the world has shifted, right? Kids can get more trouble now in 5 minutes on a computer than I could trying to go out of town and, cruising the town looking for it. It's literally so different from, the 80s till 2024. It is unbelievable the amount of things that kids can get into trouble for so quickly and not even realize the dangers that they're in. So it's so important that we set the example in our home of what a safe, growing, moving family can be. And that's a family that's involved. And that's a family where the parents are using their past to teach their kids to have the best future. So thank you for joining us for this edition of Success Tips. And we look forward to seeing you very soon in person at one of our events. But thank you for joining and have a great day.